So what's going on, Baffle Gang? We apparently have some whistleblowers coming out and talking about the alien secrets, but not just that, secrets of Area 51 as well. Yay! We're just gonna get right into it. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you're brand new. It would be a pleasure to have you. Roll it.
The Air Force has recently made public an archive of UFO reports and investigations.
Just minutes ago, explorers found clear evidence inside Area 51, where they discovered ancient aliens that had been walking the Earth for the last 1,000 years. An unidentified flying object and 4 alien beings appeared during a nuclear test, sending shockwaves through the government. Hidden away at the notorious Groom Lake, the otherworldly visitors became the focus of intense investigations.
I don't know if you have heard this conspiracy, but once everybody was conspiracizing, if that's the word or not, once this conspiracy was out that aliens were at Area 51, then there was a conspiracy that they have shifted all of this investigation or reverse engineering of UFOs in another area, and that is Area 52.
Why do many experts agree that Area 51 is the epicenter of what could be the end of the world?
The Area 51. Area 51.
Let us expose the alien nuclear test that will have an imminent launch in the next few weeks. The alien questions of Groom Lake. Area 51 is a secret military installation located at Groom Lake in southern Nevada. Officially known as Homey Airport or Groom Lake, this base is part of the Nevada Test and Training Range and is managed by Edwards Air Force Base in California. Area 51 has captivated public imagination due to its intense secrecy and numerous conspiracy theories, notably regarding extraterrestrial life. However, the base's primary function is as a test site for experimental aircraft and weaponry. The site,
I think right now it probably is, because there were so many eyes, and there's still so many eyes on Area 51, and the new conspiracy, like I was talking about, is that once everybody thought there were aliens there, they just shifted the focus. I wonder when that would, if that's real, I wonder when they would have shifted all of that to another area, which I guess the name right now is given to it is Area 52.
It is heavily secured, not accessible to the public, and constantly surveilled. Over the years, it has been involved in testing high-altitude aircraft like the U-2 and other advanced alien technologies. All looked normal until government officials gathered a group of scientists for an unusual task. This group wasn't made up of military experts or security forces, but scientists. Their job wasn't to investigate the nuclear test's impact, but to look into the unexplained appearance of the flying object. Clearly, the government was eager to gather information about this object that showed up during one of their nuclear tests. Alongside this craft were 4 beings, not human, which immediately became the focal point for those present. The presence of these beings raised many questions, yet answers were scarce. Reports suggested that these beings, along with the craft, were quickly moved to Groom Lake, another location known for its high security and secretive operations. The engineers present were tasked with examining this unusual craft. They moved around the site, observing and taking notes. Yet they were provided with minimal information.
Of course,
their role seemed limited to collecting data, with any significant insights or decisions kept out of their reach, reserved for individuals with higher security clearances. The event in Kingman became a notable.
Those of you that are familiar with Bob Lazar's statement, if you believe him, he actually said that there were compartments, and they would make sure that you and your partner would not discuss about your findings to another group. And there were a lot of groups that were researching and reverse engineering the crafts. So the progress that you would make, you were not allowed to tell it to the other group. And if your progress would get leaked out, they would know instantly who leaked it. So it was one way to control and suppress the info.
Reserved for individuals with higher security clearances. The event in Kingman became a notable yet confusing episode. It highlighted the government's tendency to control information and manage public perception regarding unexplained aerial phenomena. The engineers, skilled and knowledgeable, were reduced to mere spectators and note-takers in a narrative controlled by unseen authorities. This handling of the incident only added to the ongoing discussions about government transparency and the true nature of objects that visit our.
I wonder, like, the real people that were at Area 51, that where their job was to suppress all this information and making sure nothing gets leaked out. I wonder about those people. Do their families even know, like, where they work, right? Do they tell that to their families? Probably not, right? Probably not.
Our skies. The stories extend beyond just inanimate objects. There are discussions among those who believe in government cover-ups that Area 51 was once the detention site for a living alien, a survivor from the 1953 Kingman UFO crash. Allegedly, this alien was housed in a specially constructed area within the base, adding a sinister intrigue to the tales of Area 51. These stories, whether based on reality or imagination, depict Area 51 as a place hidden not only by the Nevada desert's geography, but also by a thick veil of governmental discretion.
Yeah.
One might question why. In an age where satellites and surveillance are ubiquitous, such a facility could remain enveloped in so much discretion. Could it be that the tales of living aliens and extraterrestrial technology are just elaborate distractions for more ordinary, yet still top-secret military activities?
True.
Or maybe these alien stories are just tricks to keep people focused on fantastical theories.
Yeah, I mean, both sides are equally fascinating and terrifying, right? Like, if we're not alone, then holy crap, where are they at? And what do they want? And what would they do? If we're not alone and we're just fantasizing about it, we're theorizing, we're assuming, and we assume that, yeah, like, there were a lot of, like, the aliens crap that was going on in Area 51. Imagine they wanted you to believe that, and they were doing something completely else, completely different, maybe even terrifying stuff there, and they just simply didn't want you to focus on that, and they wanted you to be focused on this. Yeah, equally plausible theory, because if there were not if at Area 51 they were not experimenting on aliens, then I guess they were doing something completely different in a very hidden manner. And geographically, my bad, cannot pronounce that word properly, but geography is very crazy too. The geography actually helps Area 51 remain hidden too.
Rather than exploring what might really be happening at the Pentagon's more down-to-earth projects. Enter Captain Bill Uhouse, a former Navy pilot who later conducted experimental testing on aircraft for the U.S. Air Force. In the mid-1960s, he was assigned to Area 51. According to his accounts, he studied the spacecraft that reportedly crashed in Kingman, Arizona. This narrative could easily be mistaken for a plot from a science fiction movie. Imagine an alien jrod working side by side with government officials to decipher technology from another world.
Yeah,
then there's
I heard
Uhouse,
that.
whose experiences seem tailor-made for fans of conspiracy theories, claiming to have examined alien technology firsthand. However, doubts remain due to the thin evidence supporting these claims. For those who enjoy tales of UFOs and covert operations, this story is engaging.
You're telling me that none of the employee, at least one of them, gotta have like some sort of like small hidden camera on them, and not just record it, but like actually live stream it. But perhaps like if you go inside, I guess the signals won't go there, right? I guess, yeah, right. But imagine like if somebody took like a small camera on them and started live streaming, you feel what I'm saying? That would be crazy. Holy crap. But nah, man, none of that happens. Of course, like they wouldn't let anybody in. They would make sure to check your background. They would also make sure that you wouldn't do any of that, and they would also make sure that you would leave your phone, or they would screen you, I guess, before you enter the facility, and make sure that you were carrying none of so-called cameras, none of the lenses, nothing like that. Yeah, it's too risky, man. Too risky.
For skeptics, the narrative lacks the solid proof needed to be taken seriously, appearing more as an enthralling fiction than a believable account. Regardless of one's stance, the story stirs discussions and debates. It adds a layer of intrigue to the already complex and often disputed history of UFO encounters and supposed government cover-ups involving extraterrestrial technology.
Yep.
Whether regarded as truth or fiction, the story of jrod and Captain Uhouse at Area 51 serves as a compelling example of how tales from the edges of known science can ignite both imagination and controversy. As discussions continue, this story remains a focal point for both believers and skeptics alike, each drawing different conclusions from the available information.
Of course,
Someone
always.
claimed to have
Always.
direct contact with an alien known as jrod, a name given by a linguist.
It was jrod's mission or duty to help reverse engineer.
This alien could mimic human speech.
Crazy, right? And I heard the story about jrod, that it was an alien being that they somehow captured. It was crashed UFO crashed, and then they were like, oh man, you alive, hey, come here, man, come here, we'll go peekaboo, we'll go sightseeing. None of that. You stay at Area 51. That's what our humans did. They were like, yeah, alien, you alive? We're gonna show you around the world. But nah, man, they were like, nah, bro, you stay locked here. This is your zoo right now. But what we're hearing is that if it's true, then the alien helped the humans out as well. And a lot of people are like, hey, how do they crash, bro? Like, you're telling me they come from a planet that is millions and millions of years ahead of us, technologically speaking, advanced, and you're telling me they do not crash, and they come on our planet and then crash? Fair argument, fair question, but I would like to believe it is that maybe perhaps some of them do crash in space too, like to a rock or something like that, or maybe on a different planet. Of course, we're here, so we don't see what happens out there. Yeah, so how would we know? And maybe like out of 100, there's only like, or 1,000, let's just say, out of 1,000, or maybe only 1% chance that their UFO would crash. I guess that still tells us that these are like biological creatures. I mean, that's what we heard, that these are biological creatures. So mistakes are made.
Much like how a parrot repeats what it hears. The person who spent a lot of time with jrod said that this alien tried to respond to questions, but only offered advice on engineering or science topics.
Okay.
Another individual involved in this story is Dan Burrish. He reported that his job was to work with beings like jrod, or to interpret the things they said. The situation suggests there was a hidden program aiming to use these interactions for practical purposes.
Of course, yeah.
The focus wasn't on the marvel of meeting an alien, but
yeah, like they were not there to make TikTok videos together. They were not there to dance together. Yeah, let's go ahead and play buddy buddy. Now, it was serious business. It's business. It's business.
rather on turning these encounters into routine work tasks. The overall impression is that what could be a remarkable event is treated just like any other day at the office, with all the extraordinary elements stripped away to reveal a rather ordinary operation focusing on technical exchanges rather than exploring the broader implications of interstellar communication. For many years, a strange story has circulated about jrod, a supposed alien who was kept inside Area 51 by the US government. According to Dan Burrish and Bill Uhouse, this alien wasn't just there for observation. He was an integral part of a special program. He lived in a specially designed underground area where a scientist who specialized in microbiology took care of his health over many years.
Oh, so they gave him a mansion, man. Alien mansion? Sounds about right. So they gave him his own place. But was it rent-free, or what? Or did he have to give you guys rent? I mean, the rent prices are going up like crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy out here. Like the video, if your rent prices are up as well. I think they probably put him in a mansion, alien mansion, I guess. Rent-free.
The location? A secretive underground laboratory thought to be a center of cooperation between humans and aliens. Whispers of Valiant Thor blurred reality and fiction. Encounters of Nevada's alien collaborations. This notion has been around for a while. Quiet discussions and dramatic stories about interactions with aliens have always been associated with Area 51. These accounts, fueled by those who study UFOs and conspiracy theorists, suggest a long-standing collaboration that dates back to the 1950s.
Yeah.
They talk about hidden meetings and exchanges of knowledge, where aliens like jrod are said to have provided advanced technology that helped humans make significant progress. However, it's worth taking a moment to evaluate such claims. The idea of the US government working secretly with alien beings in hidden labs beneath the deserts of Nevada seems more like the storyline of a science fiction movie. Yet despite how unlikely it sounds, some people believe these interactions have been crucial in advancing our technology.
When you think about it, right, like all the years we have been alive, for thousands of years, we did make progress, but it wasn't that quick. It feels like that from 1900s to 2000, we advanced like crazy. From 2000 to now, 2024, maybe you're watching this video in 2050. Well, what's up? How you doing? Did we find the truth? If you're watching this video in 2050, let us know how it went, how it's going, and all that. But specifically from, let's just say, the 50s, 1950s to 2000, we advanced like insanely quick. We advanced insanely quick stuff, and now stuff is getting better and better, and it's getting faster and faster too. And a lot of conspiracies do say that, yeah, it was because of the help of the aliens. Logically speaking, the reason we have advanced so much is because of all these space programs as well, and all of the because GPS, right? GPS, it was the invention of military. And what I was actually reading, and I was watching a very good video on this topic as well. First of all, yeah, the US military, they made GPS to be able to find locations a lot more precisely. And at first, they wanted to keep that technology for themselves only. They didn't want it to let this sucker out, right? And after that, they did reveal it. They did let the public have it, but it was still in a very limited stage where, you know, the location wasn't that precise. But now, guess what? You got a smartphone and you got Google Maps in it, and this was the technology given to the entire world by the US government. And a lot of the space programs, did you know the diapers that babies and like older people that wear, it's also the invention because of the space programs, because astronauts do wear that, because you know, like imagine they're outside on the ISS and they're like, oh man, I gotta pee, can a brother go inside and take a piss? Yeah, like you're there, they have put in billions and billions of dollars, so you're there to do business, and time is running out, right? So you're there, and you cannot be messing around with that. So there have been a lot of technologies, a lot of innovation, a lot of inventions that have been made thanks to the space programs and all that. And I wonder, and the US military, and I guess other militaries in the world as well perhaps would have some contribution too, but it leaves you with the question, how did we get out here, right? And of course the conspiracy is that a lot of that technology was also given to us by the aliens. This is why the US military, in a way, they were working with them, right? The exchanging technology, and now we're here.
Critics often say these stories are just complex tales, born from loneliness, secrets, and our habit of making the unknown thrilling. The story details, alien healthcare, secret rooms, and tech exchanges make the myth more interesting and layered.
True.
It's said that not only have aliens met with humans at secure military sites, but they've even met the president in the Pentagon.
Bruh.
One of the more dramatic stories is about an alien called
But which president? Alien called Valiantor? So humans gave him or her that name, or was the alien named that? Because if that's crazy, right? Like imagine you're an alien on an alien planet. Yeah, right? Like, would they also use this human concept of naming themselves too, right? Like, because here on this planet, we have a child that's born and we give him or her a name, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty normal here. But I suppose, like, they would be a little bit different, or maybe not.
Valiant Thor, a name that sounds like it's from a sci-fi book, not a real report. This story comes from Frank E. Stranges, a chaplain who claimed to have top-secret clearance, adding a thin layer of believability to a wild claim.
Thin layer.
According to Stranges, in 1957, a UFO landed in Virginia, very close to Washington, D.C. Local cops, surely shocked, were called to where a human-like figure appeared, asking to meet President Eisenhower.
What?
Surprisingly, this alien, named Valiant Thor, was quickly taken to the Pentagon and supposedly got to meet the president. What they talked about isn't well documented, but it's said Eisenhower and Thor talked about world peace and sharing advanced technology.
And us the humans that votes, we don't even have the right to speak to them, because we're peasants, right? An alien comes down and is like, hey man, can a brother perhaps speak with the president? And they're like, yeah, fine, come here. Of course, I'm joking around. Of course, it's an alien, a human. Humans different, right? Aliens different, man. It's, yeah.
Thor supposedly offered helpful tech and ideas. However, these talks didn't lead to any big changes in global policies or tech, making people doubt the truth and impact of this meeting. The story is fascinating, but it brings up real questions. If aliens were really contacting us, why use such secretive ways to talk?
Yeah, come on.
Why would such important meetings go through someone like Stranges, who, despite claiming high clearance, isn't a typical person for such world-changing interactions. The story of Valiant Thor, while interesting, often seems more like a tale for those into conspiracy theories and UFO stories, rather than a real piece of hidden history. The lack of solid evidence or other credible sources makes this story a classic example of how easy it is to be drawn to a good tale, especially one with aliens. In the 1950s, during a secretive White House meeting, President Eisenhower met with an unusual guest, a scenario many might find hard to believe.
Eisenhower?
Eisenhower was concerned about nuclear weapons, a common worry back then.
Oh yeah.
The story gets
Still
stranger
is,
with
though.
the introduction of Valiant Thor, not a typical advisor, but said to be an alien. This alien, named Valiant Thor, acted as an extraterrestrial ambassador advising Eisenhower, seemingly influencing U.S. government policy at the highest level.
Uh-oh.
The idea of an alien in government sounds like a plot from a sci-fi movie. Valiant Thor was seen as a silent but important influence.
Okay, so we keep seeing like these images, right? Are these images real? And are you trying to specify that this is an alien? Or do you mean this is Eisenhower early images? Maybe. I don't know.
On national and possibly global matters. Critics might write off such stories as just products of the Cold War's fear-driven atmosphere, filled with spy and foreign intrigue tales. Yet the story of Valiant Thor still grabs the attention of those who follow UFO stories and conspiracy theories, fascinated by the idea of aliens involved in human affairs. If we entertain the thought that this story could be true, the implications are profound. An alien being advising the President of the United States would raise questions about his intentions and perspectives on human conflicts and goals.
Absolutely.
It suggests a scenario where the most influential decisions might be guided by...
And this this happened like, if this is true, if this conspiracy is true, this happened decades and decades ago, and ever since then, how many wars we had happened, how many wars have happened, right? Thank you for subscribing. Welcome on in. Yeah, if you're new, it will be a pleasure to have you. Definitely subscribe, hit the bell. We upload every day. But since this happened, if this is true, like I was saying, if this is true, how many wars have been fought? How many times US has invaded other countries or went to other countries, did the crap that they did, right? Was all of that influenced by the aliens? Probably not. Like, what am I talking about, right? Like, what are we talking though?
An individual from another world with unknown objectives. This story...
Because what we're hearing is that they were peaceful though, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, jrod was peaceful.
Stirs interest not just because of its alien elements, but because it taps into our broader concerns about influence and power. Who really makes the big decisions that affect us all? Are there unseen forces at play in our governments? The tale of Eisenhower and Valiant Thor compels us...
So this is like, so are you specifying that this is the alien? Because we do hear conspiracies that some of them are already here walking among us. And some of them do look like us as well, completely. If you look at him, it's gonna look just like you, and you won't be able to tell it's an alien or a human. There have been cases like that have been said, and I'm fascinated by that, quite honestly. But guys, we're definitely gonna have part 2 of this one. We have a lot more stories that we're gonna cover, but we're gonna be here for an hour. Otherwise, I'll have a part 2 very, very soon. But for now, check out this video on the screen, and I'll see you right there. If you've already seen this video, check out the video on the left, man.